Hi, first graders. Today we are going to be reading a story called Curious George Builds an Igloo. Let's go ahead and enjoy this story together now. First, I want to ask you, do you know what an igloo is? I'm looking at this picture and using it to make my prediction. I'm thinking it must be something made out of ice. Let's go ahead and find out more. It was a beautiful winter morning. George was up early. Next door, his friend Bill was up too. Bill was building a house out of snow. It's called an igloo, Bill said. I'm going to sleep in it tonight. George wanted to help. He also wanted to sleep in the igloo. It would be a lot of fun. Now we know what an igloo is. An igloo is a house built out of an ice. George tried stacking some blocks of snow. It was not easy. They kept slipping and sliding. First, you make a circle in the snow, said Bill. The snow blocks go around the circle. This makes a sturdy base for more snow blocks to go on top. That sounds like a good plan. Let's see what happens next. Bill showed George how to stack snow blocks on top of the base. Around and around they went until there was only a hole left at the top. The last piece is called the keystone, Bill said. It keeps all the other snow blocks in place. Let's say that word again, keystone. This is the keystone place. Do you see it? It's the last one that goes on it. You have to fill in all the cracks, Bill said. This keeps the igloo nice and warm inside. They smoothed out the snow blocks. Bill and George filled all the spaces with snow. George was impressed, but Bill's igloo was a little small. George wanted to build his own igloo, a big igloo that would fit his bed and some friends and maybe a party with music. George got to work. This time he made the circle bigger. He stacked the snow blocks around and around, just as Bill had taught him. Do you remember what the last piece is called that they'll put on top? George worked on his igloo until the sun went down. It was a big igloo. It even had a window. But George was a tired monkey. He did not have time to fill all the cracks with snow. The man with the yellow hat helped move George's warm bed into the igloo. George bundled up and went to sleep. Do you think George will be warm in his igloo? Let's see. Soon George woke up. He was very cold. The window was drafty. The cracks were letting the cold air in. George really wanted to spend the night in an igloo. What could he do? Then George had an idea. Make a prediction now. What do you think George's idea might be? Let's go see if you're right. The man had told George to come inside if he got cold. So George worked quickly and built a new igloo in his living room. It was nice and warm inside the house. He crawled into his new igloo and went to sleep again. The living room was the perfect temperature for sleeping. But it was too warm for a house made of snow. What do you think might happen if it's too warm? Well, George's indoor igloo began to melt. That reminds me of cause and effect. The cause is that it was so warm. The effect was the igloo began to melt. So because it was so warm, George's igloo began to melt. Oh no! When George woke up the next morning, his igloo had melted. It had turned into a big puddle and a big mess to clean up. Lucky for George, his outdoor igloo was still standing. The big igloo was too cold for sleeping, but it was just right for a party. Do you think George is going to have a party? Let's find out. George and his friends spent the whole winter playing in his big igloo. until it melted away in the spring. And look, here it shows you how you can make your own igloo out of a STEM project, something we might be trying on Friday, I bet. Let's go ahead and get out our read and respond notebooks now. Mine is pink, yours might be a different color, as long as it has this binding. Go to your next open page now. Remember to keep a sticky note so it's always easier to find it. Here is my next empty page. Today we are going to write about an igloo. George wanted to sleep in an igloo. He thought it would be fun. Would you like to sleep in an igloo? You're going to tell me if you would like to or would not want to, and why. So let's go ahead and start our sentence. Capital I to begin our sentence. I would, and would is spelled W-O-U-L-D. Now, if you would like to sleep in an igloo, you're going to just put I would like. If you would not like to, you're going to say I would not like. So it's up to you. Only add not if you would not like to. If you would like to, leave it as would. Okay, so I'll put this one in parentheses for you to choose. Like, L-I-K-E. And remember, the silent E makes the I say its name. To, T-O, sleep. Sl, S-L-E. This time it's two E's, making the long E sound. P, sleep. Do you hear the P at the end? In, I-N, an, A-N, and we have to put an N because the next word begins with a vowel, and it's the letter I. Igloo. I-G-L-O-O. Because. B-E-C-A-U-S-E. So you're going to tell me you'd like to sleep in an igloo or you would not like to sleep in an igloo and why. And then you're going to draw a picture to go with it to share in the morning. Remember, spelling doesn't count. Just do your best. Remember to begin with a capital, copy the sentence, and end with a period because it is a telling statement. Then draw and color your picture to share in the morning. I can't wait to see if you would like to do it or not. Bye, firsties.